I'd really like to be spending more of my time trying to figure out how to model general intelligence and utility optimization because I'm interested in trying to figure out how to make the future of automated decision making software more equitable for people. The way I started trying to work towards this was by opening a handyman business. I thought I was going to mostly hire painters and try to find jobs for them and do a lot of the office tasks while they took care of painting. But what it turned into was being asked to do everything but painting. And instead of trying to hire somebody to do a bunch of stuff I didn't know how to direct them to do, I just learned to do the things myself and did most of the work myself, and eventually was able to grow this into a fairly successful business. But it's difficult to scale and not have it take up all of your time. So then I tried to start an online sales business, and the way I started to try to do this was to make my own sculptures of flower pots and other little statuary type things, and then make silicone molds of them, and then fill the silicone molds with cement so that I can make copies quickly of them. And it's a fairly good business model to start out with, trying to sell things, because I don't have to buy a expensive bulk purchase of something that other people are already selling, and I don't have to spend a whole lot in tooling and production for this product that I'm seeing if I'm going to be any good at selling things online with. And I've made sales doing this on Etsy before, and I think that we're going to start making sales on Etsy again with this pretty soon here after I take some more pictures and videos and polish up the marketing on the Etsy page. But I think the eventual plan with this manufacturing thing is to get a CNC machine and start developing the light up shelves that I want to make, and a line of bathroom fixtures that I've been thinking about, and stuff like that. Other things that I can make with not too much labor input that people would pay enough for that it would be profitable to make in the United States. So I'm going to try that out and see if that can get me a more passive income so that I don't have to spend so much time away from trying to understand how to help the future of automated economic decision making become more equitable. Chris is over here doing some cement casting, and John is building a shelf.
The bottom needs to be better, and that is from the mold.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, the wood filler kind of peeled out of some of the bigger parts of the grain. What's that?
You want a level?
Yeah, where the level at?
There you go. Right under, with your eyeball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's about there. Maybe just an inch higher would be absolutely level. That looks about level, yeah. You want me to haul up those 2x6s for you?
Either way if you want, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, they're heavy. I'm just gonna drag one over there. It gets really muddy up here with the vehicles pulling in and out all the time. Plus, there's a lot of moisture underneath the land here because we've got so many streams going all over the place on this property. There's one up there, so it gets a little wet. I got a board for you. I'm gonna keep dragging them over.
I tried taking the bookmark out, but it was really soft. So even after like 2.5, 3 hours, I think maybe because it's so cold.
Yeah, it could
the
be.
mold, the cement isn't setting fast enough.
Could be. Was it still warm?
What?
Was it still
No,
warm?
it wasn't warm at all. It's
Oh.
just I tried pulling it out and I could break it apart with my hands still. So I didn't want to try the
The
flower pot.
Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if there's something going bad with the cement. It wasn't lumpy, right?
I don't think so. No, it wasn't lumpy. It's pretty dry. I just got it from a brand new bag. Or the last one was the end of the old bag.
Right, but still, they were
And it
pretty
was covered the
new.
whole time.
So, we're expecting this is going to be pretty soft right now.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not because it's thinner. Maybe that big block made it really dense, but I don't want to try. I feel like I'd snap it.
Yeah, may as well wait.
It didn't even come apart.
Alright. Well, this thing isn't fragile, it just kind of set with a crack in it. Wonder if it was freezing temperatures or something that did it.
Maybe.
Let's see how these little flower pots turned out. It's kind of hard to get this in there and get your hand on the lever of this air blowing nozzle. I'm going to buy a different one for this. If I work this into that hole a little bit that I drilled and then... Worked pretty good.
Cool.
That looks really nice. Where's the other one? This one? Okay, here we go. Same thing, got a little hole down there. Gotta get this lined up just right so it goes in that tiny hole. Alright, well that worked pretty good. I like those. Got these two different patterns. That's pretty porous on some of these. Let's see. So these always come out pretty nice. I'm kind of disappointed about something with this tray. This is kind of an interesting thing that I didn't think enough about when I was making the molds for these. But this just barely doesn't fit into the thing that it's supposed to fit in because this mold bulges out a little bit when you fill it up with this heavy concrete, so it creates these bulging out rounded edges, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do about that. So might make a different tray for it, because even if it did fit in there, I don't like how big this tray is. Like, it doesn't look too good. I think that if the tray fit the bottom of it more like that would look better. Like if this was slightly smaller so that when you flip it over, it fits into it like that, instead of in the middle like this. I think that would look better. So I might just make a new tray mold so that it fits kind of like this instead. I think I'd like it better. And then that would do away with the problem of the bulging causing any kind of a misfit about it. Okay, well that looks good. Oh, we gotta make this, take this thing out too. Let's see about that. Oh, looks like it's already broken. This one is such a pain that I've really liked. I was happy with the sculpture itself when I was done with it, but this has turned out to be such a difficult mold to deal with that I'm not very enthusiastic about manufacturing these products. This particular one, I mean, the sculpture. It's alright, but it's just making the mold a little bit more difficult to deal with increases the labor involved so much on these things that, when optimized, wouldn't take much labor per piece at all. That it's less competitive with the flower pots. That's seems anyway. If I'm predicting what's gonna sell well. Where'd his hand go? Yeah, so we're gonna try to list some of these products on Etsy and see if we can start getting some sales with this. I've been researching low startup cost business models for a long time, and eventually trying to figure out. I think initially I was researching product sales businesses, but decided that a service business was easier for me to start up, and I opened a painting company, which I thought I wasn't going to do much of the actual painting in. I would just hire painters and figure out how to manage the office type tasks of the business. And it turned into a general handyman company where I did most of the work myself instead. And that was interesting, just kind of diving into all kinds of trades like that. And I thought that that would mature and scale a lot more quickly than it did. And the problems wasn't with like the business plan itself. The problem was with all the variables that come with making business deals with people. And I've always wanted to move towards some kind of product sales business. So this whole thing is kind of, this has been a slow development. I've been doing this mold making thing, trying to get the time and stability in my life to do this product sales thing and get it going. But I keep moving so much, so I have to keep resetting this up. You know, I have to take my Etsy page down every time I stop doing it. So that has been inefficient. We're moving towards it again here. And eventually this is supposed to turn into a thing where I have a CNC machine and a table saw, and we're making more interesting products than just this. But this opens the door. It gives us some justification for trying to sell things online and putting a whole bunch of time and effort into that. And there's various other things I could do. I could buy things in bulk and sell them on a website or something too. There's various things like that that I've explored. But the eventual goal, this is all kind of in service of being able to do something with coding. I mean, I want to start out probably by just making some simple business management software. I'd probably hire people to help me do this. I'm not much of a coder right now, although it's something that I'm interested in learning more of so that I can start getting into that eventually, because I want to work from making this kind of business management software that would be pretty simple and help me do some of the operations with hours tracking and automatic invoice information uploads with my business. That there's various solutions that I'm exploring for that right now, but it'd be nice to make a piece of software eventually and then try to justify making a lead management or a lead generation platform, like an app, kind of like Build Zoom or Thumbtack, that would give, connect construction customers with contractors and try to see if we could get any income out of an app like that, because eventually I want to build some kind of more complex economic calculation and planning software that, I guess, first a lead generation platform would expand into a more general lead generation platform, not just for construction, and I would kind of build from there into a more complex economic simulation type algorithm that would try to figure out, based on research input information and like the user data for all the users for the app, which would hopefully eventually exist, where you try to simulate economic scenarios and environmental scenarios that allows the thing with a model of like some kind of utilitarian model of utility for humans, that we can figure out like what people want so that we can identify specific opportunities and decision-making pathways for people. And there's all kinds of reasons why I'm interested in this. One is because I think that it's got the most power to influence society out of all the things that we could do for this century, is make this software that kind of changes the way that the economy gets run. This decision-making and planning software, which the specific app I'm talking about isn't inevitable, but the kind of decision making and planning software that is like more general than what I'm speaking about is kind of inevitable. If technology keeps going the way that it is, it seems to me that we're going to have decision making and planning software that becomes increasingly complex and can do things that get closer and closer to a total economic simulation. But it just may not be for the purpose of advising everybody at a low cost or for free. It'd be something more similar to what is going on at BlackRock with their Aladdin algorithm, combing a whole bunch of sources of information to try to figure out how this private organization can structure their investment portfolios. And I think it'd be a really good thing for the world if the kind of software that gets made out of like general decision making and planning intelligence would be given to more people for the purpose of allowing them to automatically invest in things in the smartest way possible and try to identify opportunities they wouldn't know about otherwise. And anyway, that's all to say that the kind of business trajectory I'm on is trying to get to a point that has been difficult for me to get to. Is when I could take some other avenue to get to here, but this is where I'm at. You know, I mean, I didn't get a degree in actuarial science like I was planning to, or I didn't end up getting a degree in coding, which would probably be the most direct way to start out with this. But I'm just starting by trying to make a passive income somehow out of the construction business or this product sales thing or something, so that I get a little bit more time to sit down and learn the things I need to learn and start trying to produce the things that I'm in the direction of producing. And this app that I talk about is difficult to see all the steps on the path to getting there. It's a complex thing. So, I mean, that's really ambitious. We'll see what I end up getting done on that front. But one of there's a variety of things that I need to figure out in the effort of building an app like this, some kind of economic simulation or opportunity calculation app. It requires some kind of model, like I said, of utilitarian, ethical, utility optimization calculations. You've got to figure out like how to calculate for good opportunities for somebody and figure out how you want to compromise on those opportunities between everybody. And that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out, how to model contradictory and cumulative human utility dynamics in various possible scenarios. That's got to be figured out before you can produce an app like this, because you can have some kind of database of how everything relates to one another, but you've got to have some kind of structure of motivation to refer to understand what people want out of that structure of reality. And that's so that's an area of study that I'm trying to get into. Anyway, it's been stagnant trying to move towards the part of my working for myself journey where I have like enough time and income to just kind of focus on these types of projects. I'm always trying to get to the point of making one of these things work smoothly and not take up all my time. So hopefully we get there soon. Hopefully I can get some products started to sell and we can get more work coming through the construction business. We'll hire a couple more people, try to get another crew doing kitchen and bathroom remodels, hopefully, because that's where the better money seems to be. But whatever comes, we'll see what we can do with it. This came out nice, so we'll just make more of these and take some pictures, put them online, and hopefully that goes somewhere.